The IMF on Friday said that in spite of Nigeria exiting the recession, the economy of the country was still vulnerable. The IMF, in a statement by Raphael Ransbach, its media and press officer, welcomed the federal government's actions to improve the power sector and business environment under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, EGRP. The fund explained that macroeconomic and structural reforms remained urgent to contain vulnerability and support sustainable private sector-led growth. The IMF said its staff team, led by Amin Madi, senior resident representative and mission chief for Nigeria, visited Nigeria from December 6 to December 20, 2017 to conduct the 2018 Article 4 consultation, which led to this report. Overall growth is slowly picking up, but recovery remains challenging. Economic activity expanded by 1.4% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2017, the second consecutive quarter of positive growth after 5 quarters of recession driven by recovering oil production and agriculture. However, growth in the non-oil non-agricultural sector, representing about 65% of the economy, contracted in the first 3 quarters of 2017 relative to the same period last year. Difficulties in accessing financing and high inflation continued to weigh on companies' performance and consumer demand. Headline inflation declined to 15.9% by end November, from 18.5% at end of 2016, but remains sticky despite tight liquidity conditions. High fiscal deficits driven by weak revenue mobilization generated large financing needs, which, when combined with tight monetary policy necessary to reduce inflationary pressures, increased pressure on bond yields and crowded out private sector credit. The fund said the factors enumerated above contributed to raising the ratio of interest payments to the federal government revenue to unsustainable levels. Reflecting the low-growth environment and exposure to the oil and gas sector, the banking industry's solvency ratio have declined from almost 15 to 10.5% between December 2016 and October 2017. In addition, non-performing loans have increased from 5% in June 2015 to 15% as of October 2017, although with provisioning coverage of about 82%, it said. IMF, however, said the authorities had begun addressing macroeconomic imbalances and structural impediments through the implementation of policies underpinning the ERGP. It said recovering oil prices, the new investor and exporter foreign exchange window has increased investor confidence and provided impetus to portfolio inflows. The fund added that these have helped to increase external buffers to a 4-year high and contributed to reducing the parallel market premium. It said important actions under the Power Sector Recovery Program increased power supply generation and ensured government agencies paid their electricity bills. It added that welcome steps were also taken to improve the business environment and to address long-standing corruption issues, including through the adoption of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy in August 2017. The IMF said that with these positive actions, growth is expected to continue to pick up in 2018 to 2.1%, helped by the full-year impact of greater availability of foreign exchange and higher oil production, but to stay relatively flat in the medium term.